Good evening. I hereby call to order the July 22nd, 2020 meeting of the Gaithersburg Historic District Commission. For the record, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting is being remotely telecast, so please bear with any of the bumps in the road that we encounter. For our roll call, please answer present when I call your name. Deputy City Attorney Frank Johnson.
Present.
Community Planning Lead Greg Mann. You're on mute.
There we go. Here, sorry.
That's okay. All right. Commissioner Mark Feinstein.
Present.
Commissioner Mary Jo LaFrance.
Present.
Commissioner and Vice Chairman John Roddy.
Present.
Commissioner Rudy Morgan.
Present.
Planner 2 Chris Berger.
Present.
And myself, Commissioner and Chairman Dean Ventola, says present. We have a quorum, and Commissioner Morgan's role tonight is as a full commissioner. Next is our preliminary statement, which is as follows. This commission is empowered to meet and act on under Article 12 of the City Code of Gaithersburg. The technical qualifications of the staff of this commission and the members of the commission are on file with the City of Gaithersburg, are available on request to any applicant, and are hereby made a part of the legal record of each and every application heard today. Each application heard today is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered establishing a precedent for any other application. Next is conflicts of interest. Does anyone have any conflicts of interest to any of the applications or anything we're going to be hearing about tonight? If so, raise your hand and verbally indicate so. I don't see Mark on my screen.
I don't have any conflicts, though.
Okay, good. And Rudy, I don't see him either on my screen. Is there something wrong with my screen? I've got a full screen on. But Rudy, do you have any conflicts?
No conflict.
Very good. All right. All right. Very good. Next then is we have one one set of the minutes, which is from last month's June 24th, 2020 meeting. Does any commissioner have any corrections or additions to the minutes they'd like to see made? Please just, I guess, shout out. I hear no one and I see everybody shaking their head no. Okay, good. So I call for a motion to adopt the minutes.
I so move.
Okay, anyone second?
Second.
Okay, so let me go down, take a roll call to say, aye, nay, or abstain if you wish. So Commissioner Feinstein, aye, nay, or abstain?
Abstain, since I wasn't here.
Very good. All right. Commissioner LaFrance?
Aye.
All right. Commissioner Rudy? I'm sorry,
Aye.
Roddy. Commissioner Roddy? Please forgive me.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Commissioner Morgan?
Aye.
All right. And myself, Commissioner Ventola, says aye. So that is 4-0 to 1 abstention. All right. Next then is we have one historic area work permit review, which is HIST 85-37-2020. The roof and front door replacement at 321 Firehouse Lane in the MXD, which is the mixed use development zone. If anyone from the public is listening and wants to make comments on this historic area work permit, please, I guess, get yourselves prepared for that. We will give you an opportunity to do that if so desire. So next then is, may we have an introduction from staff?
Yes, if we could pull up page 6, please. The subject property at 321 Firehouse Lane is zoned MXD Mixed Use Development. The property is individually designated as the Kentlands Firehouse. The application comes before the HDC in accordance with section 24-227A of the City Code. The applicants, Jackie and Alexander Krakowski, have submitted an historic area work permit application, HIST 8537-2020, requesting the HDC approve a roof replacement and replacement of the front door. The applicants initially also requested approval for a fence installation, basement window replacement, and lime washing of the brick, but they have since requested those items be removed from this application. However, after the HDC votes on this application tonight, Ms. Krakowski has requested that the HDC provide an informal courtesy review on either painting or lime washing the brick exterior, with the understanding that the proposal would need to be reviewed by the HDC as part of a future application. If we can go to the next page, page 7. So first we have a 1960 photo of the building when it was used to store Otis Beale Kent's fire engines. Note that the same roof is present today, only now it is painted, which we will see in the next photo on page 8, please. The applicant's request to replace the metal roof on the residence with a similar design metal roof. As part of the project, they also seek to replace the wood rake boards with metal rake boards and install gutter guards on both the residence and the garage outbuilding. The applicants have noticed water leakage in the attic, so they seek to replace the 5V crimped metal roof. Now the applicants still hope the existing roof can be repaired rather than replaced, but the estimate they received to repair the roof was much more expensive than they anticipated, so they decided to pursue full replacement as part of this application. If we can go to page 9, please. The new roof will be a standing seam roof similar to the roof on top of the garage, which is seen in this photo. It will be the same color as the existing roof and include a vent on top similar to the vent on the garage. The new roof also will include snowbirds, which are present on the existing residential roof right now. We can go to the next page, page 10. As part of the roofing project, the applicants would also like to replace the rotted wood rake boards with metal rake boards that will be of a similar dimension. If we can go to the next page, page 11. Here's a closer look at one of the rotted rake boards. And finally, the applicant seeks to install gutter guards on both the residence and the garage. They won't be visible from the street. If we can go to page 12, please. For the next section of the application, the applicant seeks to install a new front door made of steel. This is the present front door. It was installed in about 2014. It was approved by the HDC as part of HIST 2422-2013. If we can go to the next page, 13. It has evidence of deterioration because it is exposed directly to the sun and weather. It has no covering on it. Page 14, please. Similar to the existing door, the proposed door will have raised panels with paneled side lights. However, the replacement door will have larger undivided lights with internal blinds in both the door light and the side lights. And if we can go to the next page, page 15. The Historic District Guidelines for the Brooks, Russell, and Walker Historic District and individually designated sites apply. The guidelines state the following on page 31 under House Design Elements, the first bullet, which says new addition or replacement construction work on existing houses should be compatible with the historical design elements. Next page, page 16. For materials, the historic character of a property shall be retained and preserved. The removal of historic materials or alteration of features and spaces that characterize a property shall be avoided. Deteriorated historic features shall be repaired rather than replaced. Where the severity of deterioration requires replacement of a distinctive feature, the new feature shall match the old in design, texture, and other visual qualities, and where possible, materials. Replacement of missing features shall be substantiated by documentary, physical, or pictorial evidence. And last bullet, if a material is developed in the future that can provide an appearance that is historic, it may be used on a case-by-case basis. We can go to page 17, please. For roofing, the first two bullets read, original materials should be retained, matched, restored if possible, and the size, shape, and texture of the original materials should be matched if possible. And next page, page 18, please. The first bullet under doors and storm doors, any doors visible from the street should be of wood and in the style of the house. And if we can go back to page 8, please. Staff supports the replacement of the roof, installation of the metal rake boards, and installation of gutter guards. Staff is hopeful the applicants will receive a reasonable estimate to seal and repaint the existing metal roof and not end up replacing it. However, if they do decide to replace the roof, the proposed standing seam metal roof will closely match the existing. Staff also has no issues with the proposed roof vent so long as it closely matches the vent on the existing garage. The proposed roof will closely match the existing in size, shape, and texture in accordance with the city code and the design guidelines. Staff seeks a condition that the existing cupola is reinstalled in the same location after the roof replacement. The metal rake boards will be painted in the same color as the existing rake boards and will be minimally visible from 2 stories up. They will be of a similar appearance and therefore comply with the compatibility requirements of the city code and design guidelines. The gutter guards will improve the roof's ability to shed water and have a minimal visual effect as they will be inset into the gutter. And for the steel door, staff believes it'll be more durable and supports its installation. The door proposed by the applicant is similar to the door the HDC approved 7 years ago. A new front door made of readily available wood is unlikely to fare well on the south elevation, where it is directly exposed to the sun and the weather. The design guidelines read that any doors visible from the street should be of wood and in the style of the house. However, staff points out that the use of the word should does not require the doors to be made of wood. It's only a recommendation. The door otherwise meets city code requirements for compatibility. And with that, I would like to introduce the property owner. If you have any questions, Ms. Jackie Krakowski.
Hi,
Welcome. Would you
Thank
like to add anything to what Chris has already said?
the only thing is on the, let me see, they were proposing to clad the existing rake boards, which so rather than replace them, is that, so I just wanted to clarify what was proposed on the estimate.
So you're saying that you're going to keep the existing rake boards, but you're going to clad
If
them
they
in metal?
If they can be spared. I'm not sure if they can be salvaged or not.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. I guess then is next, the public is invited to speak. Chris, do we have anybody who's phoned in to speak?
I see none, no.
Okay, very good. All right, then let's hear from the commissioners. When I call your name, please state your thoughts and questions for the applicant. And so I guess we can start with Commissioner Feinstein.
Hi, good evening.
Hi.
I had one question, and it actually, you partially answered it with regards to the rake boards, but instead of cladding the existing rake boards with the metal, did you consider at all, or did you get a price for replacement with a cementitious, like a hardy board that could be used to more resemble the current wood rakes?
You know what? I did not, and I actually like that idea. So that's something to consider if I could still go ahead with the roof proposal.
I mean, we could, perhaps, I don't know if we could, I mean, if we go ahead and do an approval, would we be able to kind of amend the approval to allow for either, if the commission is inclined to do the metal, or allow for hardy as well, potentially?
Yes, that could be added as a addition to as a condition.
Mark, does hardy board come in 1.5 inch thickness?
I
don't recall ever seeing it.
Not true 1.5 inch, no. I mean,
No, I mean, I think it's 3/4.
yeah, I mean, it's true. It would be, yeah. So, I mean, it's a catch-22 because I never like covering up existing wood with metal because you're still rotting. The wood is still rotting behind the metal half the time.
Mm-hmm.
You would have a little bit of a difference look with the thickness. I mean, I think you can get an AZAC that's 1.5 inch, but then you're going to have an issue with it having, it only really is a white color, and then you'd have to paint it, and it won't be the same finish that a hardy would provide.
I actually like I never even thought about the hardy board, but that could be.
The thickness of it, Dean, to be honest, at a height that it is, I'm not sure if you're going to pick up that as much as you would, I think, the metal cladding. of the existing rake.
So you're saying that if you had a choice between full thickness metal clad over wood versus something that looks more like wood, even though it's not as deep, that would be your preference, is to go with the wood look that isn't as deep. Okay.
That would be my personal preference, yes.
That makes a lot of sense to me too, personally. Okay, you have further thoughts?
Other than that, I support the rest of the application. I mean, if the roof can be saved, that'll
What
be
about the front door?
the front door. I don't have an issue with.
I don't really good with that.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. Commissioner LaFrance? I think you're on mute. Still, I think you're still on mute.
There, I've got it. Sorry. Yes, I was concerned about replacing a wood door with a steel door, especially because based on the photos, it didn't appear to be anything that couldn't be scraped, painted, and then that one rotten board replaced. My concern with the steel door, besides it being steel, is although the lines in between sound really nice, how well will they age over time? And will it still have appropriate appearance over time? That's a question. And as far as the rake boards go, I'm sorry I'm not technically savvy enough to pull up Google right here live in front of all of us, but I did Google while I was listening to Mark, hardy trim boards. And so it's possible that there are some trim boards that may be useful. I would prefer to see the hardy plank as well versus metal cladding the wood that's already there. And other than that, I think that the other things in the application are appropriate and go with regular maintenance and keeping the house in good condition.
Did you address the metal front doors? You okay with that being metal? I'm sorry, I'm speaking with Commissioner LaFrance.
I would prefer they remain wood and that what's there is repaired.
Okay,
Personally.
all right.
I'm afraid that the steel doors, that the blinds in between the windows won't age well.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Can I ask one question about the doors? I
Yeah,
know
please.
I'm out of turn, but these doors this door was not original, correct? It was replaced in 2014, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I
That
thought.
is true. And excuse me, that is true. And I had thought about maybe we should look at it in a more lenient way since it wasn't originally a house to start with, although it was installed as wood so that it would stick with the guidelines. And I believe we should replace or encourage replacement in kind in this case.
Okay. Ms. Krakowski, you seemed like you wanted to interject something, so please speak. Go ahead.
Yes, my existing door, you can actually see light through it. It cannot be repaired. I've actually repaired it about 3 times, and I would absolutely love to have wood, but for example, here's what's happened. I've had the side lights, when I close the door, they actually shake, and I'm actually afraid one day the whole door is going to just go kaput, which is why then I might have to board up the whole front. So I would respectfully request some kind of metal, because the wood doesn't hold up very well. I've already had to paint my fake firehouse, the fake fire engine doors twice. Just because of the sheer amount of sun that door gets. This is the problem. I would love it. Honestly, I would. I want to preserve as much of the character of this house as I can.
Okay, very good. All right. Next then, Commissioner Roddy.
Yes, I'll start with the roof. Despite the fact that in previous cases, I have sometimes said that I have a standing seam roof on several areas of my house that are 140 years old and still functioning quite well. I do appreciate that the roof is the most vital piece toward the integrity of the house itself, the building. And if that cannot be repaired economically, then by all means, it should be replaced, preserve the building. So I am in favor of the application as stated with regard to the roof. Similarly, with regard to the rake boards, I agree with the discussions we've had earlier this evening. If it could be replaced, hardy board, that'd be great, but if it can't, you do what you can. Similarly, with the front door, I appreciate the fact that wood will not stand up to the environment. It's fully exposed, it's flush with the wall, there's no roof over it, not even the shortest bit of a porch roof. It gets the full blast, and I do appreciate what the applicant is saying in this regard. That's what I have to say.
Okay, can I ask you to clarify one thing for me? The rake boards, you
Yes.
said in the end, you have to do what you can. You are in favor, it sounds like, of putting the hardy plank. Are you also, though, allowing it to be wrapped in metal? Or you?
Yes, that is correct. I
Okay.
would put it just the way you have stated it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. All right, next, Commissioner Morgan.
I would like to provide concurrence with the staff recommendation and findings on this application. For the roof, I agree with Commissioner Randy that if they can preserve the roof or replace the roof, that is okay. As far as the front door, I would recommend replacing the front door with a steel door. They have steel doors out in the market that can be close to wood in the architectural appearance. So if you find something that's compatible to the door that's already existed, and it's a precedent here, the door has been replaced previously, right?
Correct.
So we're not doing something new. We're replacing door in kind. So if I agree with what's the commissioner name? I finished forgetting her name.
Her
Jack-
name, Commissioner.
Jackie, yeah. I would prefer to have a wood door, but I understand the applicant that the wood door would not withstand the element. So a steel door would be more preferable. So I would concur with a steel door.
Okay, and when you were referenced, Commissioner, were you referencing Commissioner LaFrance?
La France, yes.
Got it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's been a long day. I've been a lot
that's
of
okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But as far as the fascia, I take reservation in wrapping it up with metal. Now you have metal roof, you have metal fascia. I take reservation with that. So the holly board would be something that I would recommend.
The hardy board actually sounds like a better idea. I honestly never thought of it, and I really appreciate the idea.
Okay, all right. I am next and last. All right. I am the only dissenter. The roof is itself is fine. You're replacing in kind anyway. No problem with that. The roof vent is fine. To me, the gutter guards, that you won't see them, that's fine. And the snowbirds, I think you currently have, so replacing that's fine. The metal rake, I think we're all, including the applicant, is thinking, let's do instead of doing a metal wrapped on the existing rotting wood, let's go ahead and see if we can approve a wood look, hardy board, or even AZEC, and you guys can chime in on that if you are fine with either of those. But I guess what we can do is maybe just make a generic statement that we would accept something of a similar proportion that is a non-natural material. And that would probably be acceptable to all of us, I think, including the applicant. But the thing on the front door, I believe, I understand your, the applicant's situation. I fully do. And I also believe that with the weather on the south and exposure, it certainly will have a great need for maintenance more than most. You probably have to, instead of painting it every 5 years, probably gonna have to paint it every 3 years with a thick coat and all. But I am of the mindset that for, I think most of us, or many of us, have been on the commission for about 10 years, and we don't always agree on everything, except that when it comes to wood windows. And everybody, on the commission has always believed strongly that we need to preserve wood windows because it is a very significant part of the architecture. I have the same feeling about the wood doors. I think, I strongly believe that the difference in visual between an actual wood panel door and a pressed metal door is the difference between natural wood and Formica looking wood. It's just close, but it's not anywhere really near the original. And so because we are so strong about preserving wood windows, I don't see the difference between that and wanting to preserve the wood door. So I'm probably the only dissenter here, which is good for you, the applicant, but I feel strong about that. I can address just briefly the word should in the guidelines. I actually did a little research on the word should, and it has a direct connection with the word shall. So I don't think that really should allow us to use that as, I guess, an escape clause. But it's, in the end, it's our preference anyway. So whether or not the guidelines say one way or the other, which I do believe, I think it's said on page 18, it should be wood. I believe that based on all of the things I said so far, I feel strong about that. But that's just one vote. So yes, ma'am, please go, Ms. Cruz.
Okay, so there are two things I wanted to point out. I would love to have wood. Now, one thing you have to consider, and this is a problem I've had, is that the wood expands and contracts. So what happened with my door is sometimes it will rain and then the door won't close properly. I've so many times, you wouldn't believe how many times I've been working on it. It's like a project. So if I replace it with wood, perhaps if I seal it better there, it might be possible. Now, the only other thing I'm thinking out loud here is if I could put, and you probably, some kind of awning over the door to protect it from the sun, sort of like a entry sunshade or something like that, like a metal something, if something could be fabricated, then perhaps that might help some. It might shield the door some. But if I have to have a wood door just by itself, it's just going to fall apart again. Unless you know any technology I don't know of for preserving a wood door. I'm definitely open to ideas.
Well, let me give you my thoughts on that. First is if you put a wood frame and a masonry opening, which I believe you have, the brick and it might have block backup. I don't know if it's a full brick wall. That actually, for the age of the building, it just might be full brick. Regardless, that doesn't move. But so when you have your expansion with the heat and the moisture, then you will have your door sticking. But that is saying that you put the frame right up against the door itself. Well, that actually is not the proper way to do it. You're supposed to have shims, so the frame doesn't attach directly to the sub brick base or the mass. You put shims in there to allow it to move. You still connect it in, but you have the shims allowing that, and that's what you cover with the trim. That's really the reason you have the trim. The other thought is that you are in fact replacing the door itself anyway. you were saying that the current one is falling apart, you can see light through it, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying that you need to repair that door. I'm believing that you are absolutely right. It has to be replaced completely, door and trim, side lights and all, for the many reasons you already stated. What I'm getting at in the long run is that if you are replacing it, my thoughts are it should be replaced with wood. Now, again, I can emphasize to you, I think I'm 1 out of 6 people today, so you may not have 1 out of 5, so you don't have to worry too much. But I really feel strong about it. I also think because the prominence of your location, it is going to be seen by everybody, and I would hate to see it done. Now, I can tell you, though, if given the choice between a metal awning or a metal door, I'll choose the metal door. I don't think the awning would be a very nice feature to your house. So that's it. Those are my thoughts. Would you like to say anything further, Ms. Kwiatkowski?
No, I'm just listening to what everyone has to say, because I just, want to, sometimes people have ideas that I didn't consider. Now, if you're really concerned about the built-in blinds, if I find a door that looks just like that or very, very close, would that be acceptable?
Mary Jo, you want to address that?
Well, I had a couple of ideas, actually. I was wondering if, before we were to make a motion, when we get that far, if we wanted to vote and see how many people have a problem, yay or nay, about the door, because we don't want to hold up an application over a disagreement over the door, 1. And 2, does the applicant want to consider the proper installation of a wood door versus absolutely being sure that she needs steel?
I'm really afraid to install another wood door, to be honest with you, having been afraid that the door would actually get pushed in and I'd have no door. It's, I've really tried to save the one I have. If I could find anything that would hold up better, some new technology, I'd be open to that.
Yeah, I understand. And as far as the design goes, although I would be reluctant to be supportive of a non-wood door, I would appreciate it if you were to try to match it, at least in design. Door.
The reason why I wanted the big side lights was just more, honestly. That was my hope. Because that was what I was thinking with in terms of the design. If that makes sense to you.
And well, if you did end up going with steel, you could also use magnetic curtain rods. So
that's a good point.
Yeah,
because people, believe it or not, the other week someone walked up to one of our doors where my mother-in-law stays and looked right into the window. It's crazy what people do.
It's awful.
It just yeah.
I would like to suggest something and worth exploring. Have you thought about using fiberglass? Though it looks just like wood.
It's a good suggestion.
I use that in the
That's an excellent suggestion.
Fiberglass. You can have fiberglass door. It worth exploring if you want to explore that and research it. Again, cost is a factor because fiberglass door is more expensive than regular steel doors. So you can take a look into that. Fiberglass, it gives you all the grain of the wood. It's very close to wood and is a composite material, so it will withstand the element, and it lasts long. So it's more durable, so you have more life cycle on your material. So
it's an excellent suggestion because it does resemble wood more because of the crisp edges. When you look at punched metal, that's my biggest concern.
Yeah.
It just looks like an aluminum foil plate when you look at it. And Rudy's right. the fiberglass door has wood grain built,
Wood grain,
into it.
yeah.
I think that's an absolutely excellent suggestion. Are you open to that, Ms. Kukowski?
I am. I'm very flexible. I just want a new door that's gonna hold up.
Oh, sure. No, we're with you. I mean, absolutely. Okay. Well, that's wonderful then. All right. Does anybody have any other further comments? What I'm going to do then is ask everybody on the commission their opinion of first the roof, then the rakes, then the metal door, and then we'll go to a vote. So it's going to take some time. But before we go there, does anybody, including yourself, Ms. Kukowski, want to interject anything further?
Just if you do approve something, can you give me the flexibility to pick the door? I will obviously show Chris ahead of time before I do any purchase or whatnot, just so I can get this done before my door falls apart.
Well, that would be our mandate, and that would be a shame if we didn't get that in time for you. So. All right, so then I guess, like I said, I'm going to go through everybody. I don't know which way would be best. If we ask each commissioner to put maybe that's what it is. Let's do that. I'm going to ask each commissioner your opinion on the roof, the rakes, and then the metal door one at a time. Then we'll go to the next commissioner. So Mark, what is your thought on the roof? Are you okay with as proposed?
Yes, okay with that.
Okay, how about the rakes? Do you want to say you want it to be a fabricated material?
Correct, either a hardy or a PVC.
Okay, all right. All right, and then for the metal door or the doors Rudy suggested.
I like the idea of what Commissioner Morgan suggested, but I'm not opposed to a steel door if necessary.
Okay, all right. Okay, so then Commissioner France, metal roof, okay? And by the way, when we say metal roof, we're really talking about everything: the roof vent, the gutter, guards, the snowbirds, etc. So, are you okay with roof as proposed?
Yes,
Right.
roof
How about the
replacement or
rakes?
repair. And
Okay.
with the rake boards, I'm in complete agreement. I think I would rather see the hardy plank or something like it versus metal clad over rotten wood. And as far as the doors are concerned, I have a suggestion. Then we get far enough to craft our order tonight. If we could leave, let's say, the door open to the three possibilities of the door either being steel, vinyl, or
Fiberglass.
yes, thank you, fiberglass or wood. And that way we'll trust that staff will work with the applicant as she researches this and tries to get herself a good.
So you're fine with the steel then?
I think I'd rather the house be protected, and I feel a little leniency is necessary since it's not an original door.
All right. Okay. Very good. Commissioner Roddy, your thoughts on the roof? Is it
I'm
okay as proposed?
I'm in agreement. I would favor the grant of the application of the roof.
All right. And then the rakes?
As stated before, I do like the idea of the hardy plank. If that could be obtained in the correct dimension, I would give her the flexibility to go with metal cladding if that cannot be obtained. I
Okay.
think the dimension is important.
All right. Okay. Then a metal door or fiberglass?
I would grant the application as the door.
I'm sorry, Glenn, as what?
As to the door, I would grant the application.
Oh, as metal.
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right. All right. Commissioner Morgan, I'm sorry. Commissioner Morgan, your thoughts on the roof as proposed?
As proposed, I would agree with as proposed in the application for the roof.
Okay.
As far as rake board, I propose or suggest hardy plank.
Okay. All right.
As for the door, I'm kind of biased because I love wood. I'm crazy about wood. Right now, so the existing door is a wood door. So basically, I'll suggest first suggestion would be a fiberglass door.
Okay.
And in the last resort, if the door is so expensive, because I'm concerned with the economic condition we have, I don't want to put any financial constraint on the applicant. So if the fiberglass door is not feasible financially, or then the last resort would be I provide concurrence to the application as it is with a steel door.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No, I think the staff can work with the applicant and explore the options that we are suggesting. And my last option would be to agree or provide concurrence with the application for steel door.
Okay, good. All right, next and last, and that is the roof and systems I'm okay with. The rakes, I prefer hardy or AZAC, some, type of material like that, I guess PVC material trim versus covering it with aluminum, covering the existing with aluminum. And I am a strong proponent of wood or fiberglass. I think fiberglass is the best middle ground of all. I think that would be easily look just like a regular wood door. So I'm a strong proponent of that. So I would say fiberglass or wood. All right, so now I'm looking for a very brave soul to give us a, a motion. Now, I'll just give you a rundown real quick. Everybody's okay with the roof. For the rakes, it appears that everybody, all of us are okay with the hardy or the PVC trim. Then for the metal door, it appears that everybody, except myself, is saying okay to the metal or the fiberglass or the wood. I'm the one who's saying fiberglass or wood. So am I improperly speaking for one of our commissioners? Because I'm saying that everybody but myself is good with fiberglass, wood, or metal.
I would prefer wood, number one, period.
Oh, okay.
Fiberglass, number
what would you
two.
allow? What would you allow? Because we're going to go to a vote. So I'm just saying,
Okay.
what do you allow?
I was trying to cover what I heard everyone say by giving three choices, and we could list them as number one being the most important, number two being the second choice, and number three being last resort is steel.
Okay. All right. That sounds fine. All right. Because here's the thing. We've got 5 commissioners voting, and I'm the only one that says fiberglass or wood only. Everyone else is saying fiberglass is a preference. Oh, no, wood is a preference. Fiberglass is a very acceptable alternate, and metal is the last resort. All 4 of you are saying that. So I'm believing if we put it to a vote, we would get 4-1, allowing all 3. Does any commissioner believe that I misspoke for them?
I have a question for you, Dane.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You indicated that you want the applicant to protect the house, right?
What do you mean protect the house from the rain or?
Yeah, from the rain. So,
Well,
your last result should be going with a steel door to protect the house. If we can.
No. I'm believing that a fiberglass door is protection of a house. I also believe a wood door is, and I believe a metal door is.
Okay.
I have designed houses with fiberglass doors, and I've seen them around for 20, 30 years, and they're still in good condition. They still look good. So I don't think anyone who's trying to break into a wood door, the easier way is just go through and break a window. So I wouldn't think that is a security thing. It was a weatherability thing, is what I was saying.
Okay. So the
wood would need to be maintained more.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. All right. So again, I'm open to a motion. We have the rundown, and so please let's see who's the strongest one on our commission. Who's the toughest? That's it. Nobody.
I can try.
Right. You get a gold star.
Well, we will see. Let's see if I say this correctly, and maybe I need a couple of prompts. Okay. So I move that the Historic District Commission, based on the exhibits submitted and the staff report, findings and recommendation, approve HIST 8537 2020 roof and front door replacement with 3 conditions. The existing cupola must be reinstalled in the same location after the roof replacement. The rake boards, instead of being clad in metal, must be replaced with either wood or hardy plank. And if the door is replaced, the commission overall approves of 1, a wood door the most, 2, a fiberglass door secondly, and last, if nothing else is available and it's more affordable, a steel door.
Okay, can I interject and say that for the wood trim, you said hardy plank?
Yes.
Can we also say a hardy plank or PVC trim of similar proportions to the existing? Is that acceptable
Yes.
to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hardy,
Can we
hardy,
all,
Yes,
can we
sir.
also,
Hold on.
Mark.
Mark is on the big screen.
yeah, hardy being generic also, it can
Yes,
be
sir.
another cementitious siding as well.
Yeah.
Cementitious siding and or PVC siding of similar proportions. Yes, John, you interjected. You want to say something?
yes, with regard to the rake boards, could we also say as a alternative, if the correct dimensions cannot be obtained through the hardy plank or the composite board, a clad solution be permitted?
Well, that's fine if everybody wants that, but I can tell you that the hardy board and the AZAC easily comes in 3/4. Matter of fact, I take that back. That stuff comes in an inch thick, if I'm not mistaken. Mark, do you think that's true? The
AZAC,
AZAC?
I know AZAC you can definitely get thick.
Yeah. So based on that, John, would you still want to offer the option of cladding the existing one? Because the biggest thing about that wood is I really don't think that it's dry rot, it's rotting away. That's just going to make it get worse and spread it inward. So I'm not sure that that's the best way to go personally.
I understand. My concern was more
Yes, sir.
as to the dimension of the board itself.
If it comes
Yes, I
in,
would agree.
if it comes in an inch, is that okay by you?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, can we then add in the terminology that the cementitious board or the PVC board should be minimum 1 inch thick because it is available in those thicknesses, we believe. Is that acceptable
Yes.
to everybody? Is that acceptable to the applicant? Excellent.
Definitely.
Okay. Does anybody want to add anything further to Mary Jo's motion? And I see no one. Okay, so I move for a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor, I will give the roll call. Commissioner Feinstein,
Aye.
favor? Aye, all righty. Commissioner LaFrance,
Aye.
Commissioner Rod,
Aye.
Commissioner Morgan,
Aye.
Commissioner Ventola. Aye. Definitely. Congratulations, 5-0, you win.
Thank you.
You have a beautiful home. We say
Thank
that
you.
all the time. You're
And
one of our
thank you
biggest
very much.
customers.
Thank you.
And before Ms. Krakowski leaves, she would like to gauge the HEC's receptiveness toward either lime washing or painting the brick as part of a future application. So if the tech team could please go to page 7. And I'll remind you that the firehouse was covered in what appears to be white paint, as was the Kentlands Mansion and the other buildings. The paint was removed from all the buildings in the 1990s as the Kentlands neighborhood was developed. And Ms. Krakowski, do you have anything else you would like to add?
Well, this whole idea came up when one of my neighbors said, your house would be beautiful if it were white. And my thinking was, by lime washing it, it would have more white. It would be like whiter and lighter. But my only concern is if I just sealed it and painted it solid white, it might affect the breathability of the building.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I thought lime wash kind of would give it, a much softer look. I don't know if you realize I have this clay color on the back of the house, and
Yeah.
I think it's kind of harsh and not very attractive. I went to my neighbor's house and I looked at my house from my neighbor's house and I was like, ugh. And so the whole idea was, well, gee, can I do something to soften the look of the house without going nuts? And I thought the best option might be lime washing, because the white's going to have to be very solid. And like I said, I don't know how that will affect the building itself, but I assume the lime washing would breathe. So I welcome any thoughts on this idea. But
Well, that's great. Let's go down the list then, and everybody give her your thoughts. It's going to have no effect on tonight, obviously. It'll probably be an HIST in the future, but please, everybody tell her your thoughts. So starting with Mark, tell her what your thoughts are on that.
My main question has to do with your neighbors and the finishes on their houses, because I know the Kentlands, it's big on. I know this is an individually designated house within the Kentlands, but the Kentlands as a community is big on having a great variety, especially next door to houses, one next to the other. So I can't remember, and I haven't driven by your house in a while to know what your neighbors have for their exterior finishes, whether it's a masonry, whether it's a painted masonry, whether it's a vinyl siding of some sort or something else. And I want to make sure it's compatible with that.
It's masonry, and some are painted.
Yeah.
Some have painted facades, some are masonry. I don't think I see any vinyl on it unless it's on the back, and I don't even think on the back houses it's vinyl.
I mean, from a historical standpoint, obviously we have a picture of that it definitely was painted at one point. Some of the questions about breathability, I'm less. I guess one question I have for you is, when you did the conversion to a house, what did you do for the exterior walls? Did you insulate those, or
Yes, there's insulation.
what did you use for the insulation?
To be totally honest, I don't know. It's a combination of spray foam and fiberglass,
Okay.
I think, but I honestly don't remember. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, with the spray foam, gives you a little bit of the moisture barrier there, so I'm less. I mean, it could potentially trap the moisture within, create almost like a double moisture barrier with the paint and the spray foam. So I understand the concerns there. If it had never been insulated, then I'd have less concerns with it. And I love the current look of it. I understand what you're saying about the rear and how it has a different look, but the front with the unpainted brick, I think is so beautiful, especially with the trim you have. So whether I think it's a great idea, I'm not sure, to be honest.
My question would be, and I've had proposals from the other proposal my neighbor suggested, and I was about this either, was putting ivy on the side of the house to soften the look. And that didn't throw me because ivy can grow into the building.
Yeah.
And they suggested putting in a lattice instead. I guess what I'm looking for is a way to soften the look of the building or what I can do to the back of the building so it doesn't look quite so hideous, because to be honest with you, I feel that paint that I have right now is kind of harsh to look at, that I have under the deck, so I guess I'm just trying to find a way to improve things a little bit aesthetically.
I'm sympathetic to that. Like I said, I understand what you're saying with the rear of the house. The front of the house, as it is really pretty currently. So it's but it's a four-sided house because it can be seen. Your house is so prominent, it can be seen from every direction pretty much. So you'd want to do something that would be the whole way around.
Mhm.
So I'd love to see a rendering of it with the
Lime wash.
with a lime wash. Yeah. It'd be
I could probably get that done. I could probably get a rendering done. Let me see if I can do that.
That's all I have comment wise, Dean.
Okay, next, Mary Jo.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of background in lime wash, although I Googled it while I was listening to Mark. Thank you, Mark. I'm of the mind that to paint the brick, even though it had been painted in the past, would require regular maintenance. And whereas brick, as far as, obviously repointing the mortar over time, you don't have a lot of maintenance issues with that. I saw some photos of lime wash, and I understand there are some differences in the brick tones because this building was converted to a home. So there was obviously some other brick added, and it is.
Yeah.
So I can see the frustration there. I wish I knew more about what a lime wash does to the brick over time, or paint does to a brick over time. So that's all I've got. I can't really make an opinion until I've done some more research myself.
Okay.
Okay, John.
Yes, it's been my experience that it's never a good idea to paint brick, especially older brick.
Okay.
I think lime wash is a fine historic finish. I think it accents the texture of the property in a much more flattering way, and that would be my preference. That's all I would offer you.
Okay,
Oh, and
Rudy.
ivy is
Oh,
never
I'm
a
so
good
sorry.
solution.
I'm sorry, keep going. I didn't realize. I thought you were done. Please say it again.
I would just say that ivy is never a good solution. Not only does it pull the mortar out when you remove it, but also it is a very, very efficient conduit for the insect life, especially ants.
Yep.
I don't think you'll be pleased with that at all.
No. Yeah, that's why I kind of wasn't that thrilled with that idea. So what I need to do then is get a rendering of what the lime washing might look like, and maybe another proposal to see how I can soften the look of the back of the house or something. I just need to do something because I just kept the color that it had before. When I purchased the house, it had that color. So, but I think maybe we can do better.
Commissioner Morgan hasn't been heard.
Yeah, he'll have his. I didn't forget him or myself, so they'll. But I don't want to cut you off, Ms. Krakowski.
No, that's basically. I'm just trying to
Okay.
improve upon what
Okay.
it.
All right, Rudy, you're next. Did we lose Rudy along the
Rudy
way?
appears to be his video. Oh, his audio is here. There he goes.
I'm here.
Okay, hey there. Your thoughts on that?
Painting brick, that's something I've tried to discourage, seriously.
Okay.
The lime wash would be something that I would suggest, and you may not know what you're going to see after the lime wash. Sometimes the beauty is behind the roughing of the facade. So I'll suggest applying or doing a lime wash application. It has been done on a lot of building, granite, natural material, and also try to do it slow and on a dry day. So that's something I would suggest. But painting brick, I'll try to stay away from that.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a beautiful building.
Thank you.
And again, just as wood, I have a bias. I would say it straight. I love brick. I love wood, and it's so built in a natural application. I mean, it's you can't go wrong with brick. So you have a beautiful building, and once the lime wash application is supplied to the facade, you can retooth the mud, the jumps, and all that, and you just bring the building back to its natural beauty. It's a beautiful building. Painting the building is not gonna do. It's not gonna do.
But you think lime washing could be okay?
Pardon me?
You think lime washing could be okay?
Yeah, it depends how you apply it.
Okay.
You have the right person doing it and to take that time to do it. Instead, sometimes you hire folks to come in and they have 2 or 3 other jobs and they get rushed through it.
Oh yeah.
You apply appropriately, and it depends on the temperature and everything. You will love it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a beautiful building, and as Mark said, you have a full side elevation, and I think I would suggest lime washing, not painted.
Okay. Well, that's why I wanted opinions. I didn't want to just willy-nilly.
Got one more coming.
Okay, excellent.
Me. I have some thoughts for you. Can I ask real quick, the building obviously was painted from the historic photo. How did you guys remove that? I'm assuming it was not sandblasted, because that's the worst thing you can do for brick. How did you remove the paint?
It was already removed when we bought the building.
Okay, so I wonder if they use some kind of chemical solution, like a form bees or something, because the worst thing you could ever do, and this is what most people do, is sandblast the brick. And that opens it up, and then you're going to have moisture pull in, freeze, and really spoil your brick, which I don't see anywhere happening to your house. So I think that they probably did it properly with a chemical removal system. So that was wonderful. But along those lines, I'm glad that picture was showing, because your house currently, in my opinion, is so much more beautiful than the picture, the historic picture. That white is, to me, not very attractive compared to certainly compared to what you currently have. I think painting brick, to me, is only, I used to think that never paint brick, but then I saw a house that had really, engineered brick with real harsh lines, real unattractive brick. Not just wire cut, but this brick was just really just a very cold looking brick. So when the owner painted it like an off-white or a taupe, it was a big improvement because the brick was so unattractive to begin with. But that's not what you have, and I like historic bricks, and that obviously is what you have. So I would not recommend you painting it. So the next best thing would be, like you're saying, is a lime washing. If you're thinking of maybe a 5% coating of color, so as brick with no paint is 0, brick that's fully painted would be like a 10. If you're going to whitewash it with like a 5, well, I'm sorry, with a 1 out of the 10 or a 2 out of the 10, as far as the tone or the transparency of it, I think that would look great, because those are the old historic buildings that have that, and that's wonderful. As for the rendering, don't spend your money on that. That's not necessary. Please do not, because one of the things that it would be better to have is actually take 1 or 2 bricks that are similar in color to what you have, and put the lime on that. And when you come back in, bring those, because that's going to be real. Any rendering that you have is still a hope or a fantasy to get that, but reality may be somewhat different. So if you can bring us the real sample with a couple of bricks with the lime washing on it that you find to be acceptable, that would be so much more helpful to us. Now, Ivy, I love. If you ever go to an Ivy League campus, it's stunning. But I have ivy on my house, and it's beautiful. But you blink an eye, and your whole house is covered. It grows on everything. It becomes vines that are 2 inches in diameter that you can literally climb up. Bees love it. Bugs love it. Snakes love it. As much as I love the look, it's a nightmare. Now, every year I go and battle it and try and pull it off my house, but I still love it a little bit. So that's my burden. But nevertheless, I would never if somebody said they would love to have ivy on their house, that's great, but it's tremendous amount of work and maintenance, but it looks stunning. Now, lastly, the paint on your house on the rear is you consider harsh. And to be honest with you, I do as well. I remember last year, I think, or a couple of years ago, I think it was only last year, you came back and had some change on your house. And the back of the house, I think, was complete. You showed us. I thought that, and if I'm not mistaken, I thought that you painted some parts of the brick infill with like a reddish paint. Is that?
It matches what was there before. I tried to exactly match what was there before, so I could.
Here's what I didn't say last year because it was already done. And what I actually believe in as an architect is once it's built, it's perfect. Just really, because there's no reason to, because you always can find things to do. Always. You can always find changes to make money spent. So it wasn't appropriate for me to say it at the time, but now it is. I think that if you got a brick sample, I don't know if you have any brick laying around that is from the time your house was built. I don't know if you have any loose brick or anything that somewhere in a garage or something. So if you can find the brick that's similar in color, take that to a place like Home Depot and they can match the paint to that color almost exactly. You would be shocked. And all of a sudden, when you paint it with the same color brick, you won't find that color to be as harsh as you currently do.
That's an excellent idea. I like that idea.
Okay, so there you go. Those are our thoughts.
Thank you.
Okay, very
I
good.
appreciate it.
All right, anything else for anybody on this subject? Nope, okay, very good. Well, thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much.
All right,
Thank you.
next then is, Chris, I understand we have no tax credit applications or courtesy reviews
We do not
other than the
know.
one we just gave. All right, next then is from staff.
I have nothing.
Okay, Greg.
Nothing for me tonight.
Okay, Mr. Attorney, Frank.
I don't have anything tonight.
Okay, very good. Next then is from the commission. Does anybody have any thoughts? Just interject if you do. And I see everybody shaking no, but I only see two people. So John and Rudy, chime in if you have anything.
I have a quick question for
Yes,
Chris.
sir.
Chris, I sent you the application, the form. Did you receive it?
Yes, we got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, anything from anyone else? Okay, we are hereby adjourned.